Hey everyone, welcome back to the Code Tech Sales. I started this channel just for one simple reason, and that is because when I was starting as an SDR, I was lost between the scripts, KPIs, and 100 of the suggestions from the different resources like LinkedIn and others. But no one is sharing the right and the kind of the practical strategy, and that's why I started these channels to help the upcoming SDR who wants to make their career in the tech sales, to help them with the practical insights from the experienced sales developers and engineers. And today we have one of our guests here, and his name is Safe, and he has more than 5 years of experience in the tech sales and the SaaS. So please welcome our guest Saf here, and let's have a discussion with him on the practical insights like how to prospect, how to get the replies from the prospect, and let's say how to approach the any client or any account with the different tech strategies and all. So welcome Saf, how are you?
Thank you so much, Tarun, for having me here. And I'm doing good. Tell me, how about you? How are things
I'm so
going on?
good. Thank you, Safa. And I believe that you have a wonderful weekends right now.
Yeah,
Like I just disturbed you, but I hope that all is good on your side right now.
no, that's completely fine. I'm happy to contribute my expertise, for the other SDRs and other, sales representatives. So happy to help.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And before I start with the direct questioning to you about all of these stuffs that we are going to discuss today here, I just want to know before starting actually the questions and answer sessions that where we are going to discuss about the different strategies and all. I would like to know like how you started your early days. How did you first get into the sales, especially in the IT space and the SaaS? And what was your experience like in the beginning when it came to the lead generation and sales?
Sure. I mean, again, this kind of sales, is wasn't something I aspired earlier. Because I was into hospitality. Close to in 2018 or 2019. So I worked for few international companies in aviations and in hospitality sector. But after that, COVID happened, and that industry, was impacted quite badly. And after that, I had to look for other options. And then I figured out, IT sales is one of the growing sector, and growth here is very good. So I started as a lead generation executive. I applied for few interviews, and I got selected in one of the company. Uh, and then, I started working as a lead generation executive, where my responsibilities were similar, what each and every SDR is doing, reaching out to the prospects. Again, there being, having my first job, I learned a lot of things. That was completely new. Making a lot of calls every day was felt like what I'm doing. Like, am I in BPO or what? Like, what's going on? But with the passage of time, everything made sense, right? I figured out ways. I looked at the seniors, how they are doing it, what they're doing it, the kind of scope in this domain, we have. Then I decided, no, this is something I really would like to do, and this is where I belong, and this is where I have to grow. So that's how it started.
Okay, good. Like as you just mentioned that you have started as an SDR and then you're making a lots of the calls, and this is the one of the questions coming up from the upcoming SDRs who just want to build their career in the sales, and they just want to start as an SDR, that am I have to make a lots of the calls in a day? Most of the time I listen this question to the when I'm taking the interviews from any for any SDR profiles and all. So they are coming with this question, sir, do I have to make a lots of the calls like the 100 or the 200 calls, or making a lots of the emails, like am I going to work like as in just a email marketer or something like that? So this is the one of the biggest afraid point of for them. So how, if someone, if you have to guide them like you, what exactly it is not about, we know that it is not about making the call. Sometimes you got your lead or your meetings just in the 10 calls. Sometimes you have to dial them more than the 100 numbers as well, because the connectivity is so low at that particular day. So it is all about the strategy, as I know. So if someone asks you the same question, what is going to be your reply for them? What is your suggestions?
So I'll share a story, like, because that story might help you to understand better what exactly you need to do. In my earlier days, so the group where I belonged in, basically my manager, the other senior folks, and then I was a fresher, and there are other couple of candidates, who were working with me. So we used to make calls up to 400 calls, 500 calls a day, right? And there was a kind of competition, right? कि मुझे ज़्यादा calls करना and I have to get a meeting. Until unless I don't get a meeting, I'll keep calling. I'll keep reaching out to the prospects, right? And we had seven numbers, seven different numbers. We used to, reach out to the prospects from a different extensions. But we were not getting results. Sometimes we were getting meetings, like after making 300 calls, 200 calls, sometimes after getting 500 calls as well. But on the other end, uh in within our group, there was some senior folks who were just making 30 calls and they were getting meetings.
Yes, exactly.
They were just making 30 calls. They were going on smoke breaks, they were just chilling, they're just doing their stuff. No one is, because they were getting numbers, so koi
No
kuch
one is telling them anything.
right. And they were like the king of that company, right? And in the end of the day, they were getting numbers, and we were very much, shocked, surprised, what kind of efforts that guy is putting, which we are lacking, right? So later on, with the passage of time, when we closely worked with those kind of top performers, we realized like their research work is very strong. They know what to speak, they know how to approach, they know when the prospect is picking up a call, what script need to be pitched on the call. So
Hmm.
that's what, because what we were doing, we were making calls for the sake of meeting the KPIs, daily KPIs, कि 300 नहीं करेंगे तो मैनेजर अब बोलेगा, गुस्सा करेंगे, राइट? एंड अगर मीटिंग नहीं भी आई तो एटलीस्ट आई हैव टू, आई कैन शो दैट आई पुट एफर्ट्स,
Hmm.
राइट? सो वो डर रहता है इनिशियल लेवल पे, राइट? मेरे अंदर भी था, एंड आई यूज्ड टू मेक कॉल्स, राइट? बट एक जील भी था कि until unless I do not get numbers, I'll keep reaching out to other prospects, क्योंकि हमारे पास डेटाबेस बहुत बड़ा था. But then I when I upgraded my skills, I learned your research plus making calls is something valuable, right? I know guys who will make just 5 calls a day and will get a meeting. एक हफ्ते में they will get 1 or 2 meeting, right? So I know a guy. So what I'm saying is, figure it out what's working for you. If it's quantity, अगर if you feel like आपसे रिसर्च वर्क आपका थोड़ा वीक है, आपको नहीं समझ आ रहा है, राइट? देन गो फॉर द क्वांटिटी,
Yes.
राइट? जहाँ पे आप अपने मैनेजर से एक स्क्रिप्ट अप्रूव करवाइए,
Hmm.
जहाँ पे आप अपने मैनेजर के साथ एक रिबटल क्रिएट कीजिए, लाइक दीज आर द 4 पॉसिबल क्वेश्चंस व्हिच अ प्रोस्पेक्ट कैन आस्क, और आप अपने मैनेजर के साथ थोड़ा रिबटल को थोड़ा अच्छे से प्रैक्टिस कीजिए और उस स्क्रिप्ट को अप्रूव करवाइए, देन गो विद द क्वांटिटी, 200 300 कॉल्स, डू इट. But if you're someone pro, you know the product knowledge, you have a good knowledge, you know the in and out, you know what kind of questions you can ask, then go for the research work,
Hmm.
right? आप quality list prepare कीजिए 20 और 30 prospects की, dial numbers, एक भी या दो भी अगर, like if you manage to get connect, like the meeting is all yours. So that's how you need to figure it out, if you belong to that quantity side or a quality side. So
Hmm.
that depends person to person.
Yes, exactly. But what is happening now, like when we are talking about these things, that we have to do the research first and we have to figure it out that what kind of the pain points of particular that industry or that particular company may have. And we are going to talk to them about all of those pain points so that we can actually showcase ourselves as a strategic person that who is going to have them. But the thing is that when we are talking about the upcoming SDRs, most of the upcoming SDRs are joining the like the mid or the small size of the IT company where they are more into the like mobile application development services or other small service website development, UI UX improvement and all kind of the stuffs. And when you are saying that quantity over the quality, I must say that in for this kind of the companies, when they are walking into it, the quantity is going to work, because you don't have to be like do a deep research when you're talking going to say something about or you are going to talk about the website development or the mobile application development kind of the services. But we are talking about, when we are talking about the core technology services, we have to do a proper research. We have to figure it out that what is exactly the things that I can come up with on the table, so that they are going to be see, okay, they are adding some value in our process. So let's talk to them. Okay.
Hmm.
But what is my question over here? Like when you are saying that we have to do the research, we have to figure it out with those 30 accounts. What your characteristics or the parameters you can see that on those parameters you are going to select those 30 accounts. Can you give us a hint about that so they can understand, okay, so we have to do this kind of the research before we are going to do the further research on that particular accounts? How do we figure it out that, okay, these are the those 30 accounts that I have to focus on? So how we
Uh,
are going to figure
sure.
it out?
Sure. I mean, I definitely can share the strategy, but this strategy might not be applicable to each and every rep, because again, that
Absolutely.
depends
That's
on
just the general approach. That's well fine.
yeah, that's again depends on the product and the services they're offering. But what usually I do, I work for the enterprise accounts, usually up to $5 billion, $500 million to $5 billion accounts. So usually we look for what kind of activities that company is doing. Like if they are acquiring companies, if they are expanding, then in which department they are expanding. If they are hiring data scientists, or if they are hiring other candidates in other departments. So we get an idea, this department is growing, it means there are some sort of progress happened within that department, right? And now when we look at the parameter, then we figure it out, is there anything relevant services which we can offer for that particular department. But before that, we need to understand what kind of progress they are having or they had. And apart from that, need to do a due diligence before reaching out to them. And the other thing is, if you're using Zoom Info, you can look at the option scoops. Within scoops, you can have a certain history about that company. You'll understand more about that company, like who is coming, who is going. And you can look at the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Within that department, there is a new hierarchy came up. Someone recently promoted or someone recently joined, because most of the decisions come from such leaders as well, right? So once you do have that sort of idea, and then you start like simply start with engaging on the LinkedIn post if they are very active, right?
Right.
So what kind of content they are sharing, right? If it's more like a personal stuff or a technological point of view, they are sharing something, right? Understand their psychology behind it. And then within that particular company, make a list of CIO, CEOs, CTOs, VPs, then directors, senior managers or managers. Start connecting. If it's a research based approach, start connecting with the manager, understand like if there are any pain areas. Usually in big companies, managers do not have a very good insight, and they cannot act as an influencer, because in big companies there are multiple directors.
Multiple
So it's
data.
always recommended uh, to start with the director, so that you do not waste a lot of time on a manager or somewhere else. But it's completely up to you if you want to reach out or not.
Mm.
Once you get in touch with the director, understand what kind of pain areas are there. But again, if you're asking the patrons, picking up the pain points, again, you have to do a due diligence, go on their website, see if that particular uh, account is going, if going is any kind of event where you can send your VP or send any leader from your current company. Gather such kind of insight and then start reaching out. So now reach outs could be on different types. It could be a cold outreach completely, where you just directly make out a call, or simply just write down a good email short. So emails need to be written in a very short and to the point, where the call to action is very clear, right? And your motive, why you are reaching, and a brief value proposition, right, should be there, and then send it out. Because if first or second email, if it's the lengthy, then there are chances that prospect might ignore it. After that, I wouldn't say like, on a very first day you will get connects, but yes, you have to look at the patterns. Patterns like, at what time this guy is starting the office. Like if he's picking up calls in early mornings or late in the evenings, like try their time, 8:30 a.m., 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Try that pattern. Like you have to be very sharp when it comes to, reaching out in such timings, because usually, in foreign they do have kind of, strict kind of discipline, right?
Schedules as well.
Right. So you have to figure out that pattern, like, when he's picking up the call in mid, like, in middle of 11 or 12, right, or if late in the evenings. Once you understand the pattern, then with the same pattern, try to approach the other prospects. You'll get connects. And once you get the connects, there's the opportunity. You have to make sure that you deliver uh, your best. The pitch should be good, and you let them know what you're doing and what you're calling about. So, so that kind of effort you need to replicate, rest of the month to get meetings. So that's something I would say is happening, but that's the front view. But in the back end view, there is a lot of research candidate need to do, to approach that prospect. So better the research, better the content you have to speak about with that particular prospect.
Right. And like I actually I am going to touch this point later on this video, but as you just started about this about the call to action and the value propositions, there are lots of even the experienced SDRs. I must say that they forget create the right value proposition. Whatever the services they are going to offer to their prospect, in against of that we have to create our value prop in one line or the two line maximum statement that can give them the idea that okay, that what value that we can brings to the table, right? So when I am going, if I am going to ask you that if you have to create the value propositions for any particular in against of any particular services, like as you also worked in a different IT company, so you know that in IT companies we are offering a different sort of the services, and for each services we have the different set of the value proposition that we are offering, right? So when we are creating the value proposition, we have to keep few things in the mind, and I just want to know from you and your insights that when we are creating the value proposition, what we have to keep in the mind, like what
So
are the things actually.
first, for like, it's different for SaaS and for services companies. For SaaS, they are solving a problem, right? The problem is there, and the product is solving the problem. So how you represent it, that's a value proposition for that SaaS company. But in services, you are offering, every kind of services, whether it's a cloud technology, it's a, cybersecurity side, or it's a staff augmentation, or it's web development, right?
Mm,
So it could be anything. So
mm,
their value proposition basically could be the logos you have achieved, right?
mm,
I would say, and the kind of trending work you have, you have done. But again, you have to make different kind of value propositions. Like if you're reaching out to a different department, like someone from a cloud department, then you have to create it accordingly, considering your cloud achievements. If you're
mm,
reaching out to a data science department, like, and if you recently managed to give a good kind of staff augmentation services, like in that particular domain, you can reach out, because data scientists are very expensive in US, and they like to hire, offshore resources,
mm,
and usually tie up with these companies. So again, you let them know, these kind of resources we can help with.
mm,
So like that way, the value proposition should be there. Again, if you have some very strong achievement as a company, you can let them know what you're offering in very, brief or short, points. And yes, A/B testing is very important,
mm,
right? You need to keep doing what kind of campaign is working for your emails. Like if this email, uh, make sure, like, you're getting a track of your email. If it's getting opened, like, get a tool for that. There
mm,
are multiple Chrome extensions are available, where you click on that. If someone is clicking on that email, you'll get notified, hey, that prospect has opened the email, right?
mm,
Keep a track, if that prospect is even reading or not, or if it has been ignored, or if it's in spam. If it's spam, check with your IT team, right? So you need to ask these questions, to yourself. I am sending this email, and why I'm not getting a response.
Mhm.
If it has been clicked, if it has been opened, if it's not been entertained, it means he's not interested, right? But if after even 24 hours, 48 hours, that's not been opened, then there are very high chances you'll keep sending emails, similar emails, but you will never get seen. So that you need to look what's the challenge. If it's going in a spam folder, or for some reason they are not looking at it, then you reach out to them, can ask, hey, I tried reaching out to you an email, but I didn't get a response, so I thought giving you a call would be a best option. So
Yes.
just 30 seconds to understand. So that's how you can start a call.
Yes, yes, right. When we are talking about the multi-touch point, before I move to the multi-touch points, I have one more question. You just mentioned that we have to keep a very clear CTA, call to action, in our emails, right? So when I am going to ask you that if you are drafting an email, okay, so what kind of the CTAs that you are putting into the email? And why I am asking this, because the people thinks about the CTA in a very different way, okay, and they are using a very complicated CTA where the CTA is also not giving the actual reason or the option, the open-ended option to the prospect, that what are the next action that needs to be done by from their sides. Right. So, what kind of the CTA that you would like to prefer in your emails and why?
So usually, I mean, every executive or rep is having a different style, but I never ask for a call or a meeting on a very first email. My usually, first CTA is, hey, I would like to know more about your work. That's what I do. Can we connect? So that's how I approach. Like, suppose you have maybe, like, let's suppose you are doing a job as a cloud engineer, right?
Okay.
And I have just seen, like, that your company is doing good, and I just would like to know, hey Tarun, I saw your post and it was amazing, and the kind of work you're doing in cloud, that's fabulous. I would like to learn more. Is there a possibility like we can connect if possible?
Hmm.
uh, that's simple, right? Then I'll see what he's doing. Like, if he replies on the same thread, then I'll tweak the conversation. Like, hey, even we have done a lot of work. Like, I thought you would be the best person to discuss. Is there a possibility, like, we both can discuss on cloud and what's coming, what's the latest technology coming up in the market? So then again, like, if he's open to discuss, because most of the such personas, they would like to be a part of community, or they are already a part of a community where they keep learning from other peers,
Yeah,
right?
especially if we are talking about the technical
Right.
person.
So here there is no sales pitch. We're not selling anything,
Yes,
right?
yes.
We're just building up a relation,
Building up the.
right? If he comes up on a call and we have a discussion with my AE, and we felt like they are all good, we cannot sell them anything, then we'll keep building the relation for the rest of the months, until unless we do not see anything to sell them. But
Hmm.
if we see, yeah, there is a scope to sell, upsell, cross sell, or direct sell, whatever, we can just simply let them know, hey, this kind of work we have done with that kind of company. Would you be interested to implement that within your company? We would be very happy to show you a demo, right? Then you can schedule a call too. But your email first shouldn't be very, very sales kind of call to action. Like, yeah, because nobody like to be get sold,
Hmm.
but everyone liked, you know,
Value from the
ask,
other.
right? Huh? That, yeah, he's asking me for the knowledge. Like, that's what they like. But they wouldn't like, yaar, ye banda mere ko kuch bech raha hai. That's a very common psychology. So you being a salesperson, how you're driving that particular client or prospect is very important.
Right, right, right. Actually, what happens now, if you are feeling someone that they are the superior than you, and you are the one who just want to build the relation, who wants to learn from
Right,
some, like,
right,
from their expertise, they are happy to share, because everyone wants to share their knowledge and gain some knowledge from the others as well. So, right now in these days, because the technology is so quickly switching, so quickly advancing each and every day, so everyone wants to be updated and upgraded from the technology, right? So, if you are saying someone that yes, you are someone who wants to build a relationship, and you just want to give them a sense that yes, they are more senior than us. You are giving them actually the value. to them, and then you are asking some favor to them, they are happy to share that with you. Even if
Right.
there is no requirement in that case, no, they come up on the calls and they see that okay, maybe you will be a good friend of him, and in the future when they have something clicks where they can recall you. Oh, okay, Saf is the one guy who came to me a few days ago, and he has similar kind of the expertise. So let's get in touch with him, and maybe he can help me with this. So they will come back to you with the requirement sometimes, and that happens a lot.
I tell you
Uh-huh.
some what it happens. I mean, someone if someone is listening, I would really say that if you're getting a meeting, good meeting with any kind of prospect,
Mm.
make a very good connection, build a very healthy relation, and even after 2 years or 3 years, if you change a company and go to a senior position or any similar position,
Mm.
if you'll reach out to that prospect again for a meeting, he'll give you,
They
and
will,
chances there are high chances he might give you a business as well. So
yes.
you being an employee is on a safer side when you are building a healthy connection with that particular prospect.
Mm.
And I know a lot of executives who have a list of their selected prospects. Whenever they go, wherever they go, in which company they go, they rock because they already have a prospects. They
Mm.
don't tell it to anyone, but they do have that list and they do rock.
Yes, and they go get the meetings very easily because they have the good relationship between the, and at least they have the meeting for the discussion so that they can offer that what the new company that they join is offering on the table, and at least they have the idea. And if they saw, if any requirements come out of that, they'll definitely get back to each other, and then they are working. So yes, I am totally agree with you. And these are the insights that we are actually looking for our audience. Thank you so much, Saf, for sharing such a practical insights to us. Thank you.
Happy.
My next question is about the USA market. We are discussing a lot about the USA market in these days, and we all know that in even if we are talking right now in Noida itself, in every state we have the 6 to 7 IT companies, right? And everyone is targeting the USA mostly, right? Even if they are in the different industry, if they are in the different SaaS with the SaaS products, it's still the if they you are going and ask them that what is your target country, they are going to say you the USA, the very first one. My question is on to this, like as we all know, the US is getting competitive day by day, right? How we can differentiate ourselves from our competitors so that they are going to listen. The audience who are sitting in the USA, they come and listen to me only. So we need a differentiator, right? We need a differentiating point, or in my approaches, in my messages, in my call, in my email, I need a kind of the differentiation. And what kind of the differentiation that you can create with that is totally depends on SDR to SDR, right? I just
Right.
want to know a generic point of view of yours on this, like what you exactly do when you have to differentiate yourself, like what exactly you mention in your email so prospect is going to open your email and reply you, at least whether it's a no or the yes, it doesn't matter, but at least they reply you.
Right. So again, it depends on multiple factors. Like it's not just depend on the SDR that how he plays himself. It also depends on the reputation of the company.
Mm.
And because once someone is giving you a meeting, like there is a very high possibility he'll search your name on Google, and if you're not coming on that top, top page, then he might he might think, yeah, like if it's a legit company or not, like why they are not, I'm not able to see them on Google, right? So because usually what it happens, if you really want to place yourself, in a very a good way, and then you have to, look at a few things. First, you being an SDR, what's your approach? Like, it shouldn't be like, calling and calling. Like calling is good. It's not bad, but you should call, in my point of view, only 3 times in a week to that particular prospect,
Mm.
right? If you have two numbers, like if you do have any other number, then you can call 6 times a week, but he shouldn't get a track that he's the one who is calling me again and again, right? So, but do not call on the same time. Like suppose I started my shift, I called you right now, you didn't pick. Tomorrow again I logged in, I called you, you didn't pick. Again I'm logging tomorrow, I called you, you didn't pick. So that's the pattern I'm following is wrong. Right?
Yeah.
First, I called you at 5:30, you didn't pick, it's okay. From the second number, now I'm calling you at 11:30. You didn't pick. Next day, I'm calling you from a different number, 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. like my time 3 a.m. like your time 3 p.m. Let's example if you're in USA, right? You didn't pick. Then I'll try again in a different slot. I'll give you a call at 4:30 p.m., 5 p.m. Then you picked. Now I understood you are the one who takes such kind of calls in the evening,
Mm.
right? Now that pattern, that's making me uh, different than the other SDRs, right? So that's a strategic thinking, like you have implemented, the time slot, you changed your time slot. And second, I would say your emails, right? If you can have a reference, multi-threading is very powerful. Like suppose I reached out to one of your employees, right, first, and he referred me towards you,
Mm.
taking him on that same email and approaching you, giving his reference, there are high possibility you might give me a reply,
Right,
because
right.
that already colleague is there, like who is known to you. So I'm not a cold approacher,
Mm.
right? It's not unsolicited. So that if you take it in a multi-threading way, always reach out to other prospect, take the reference. If he says, hey, he's the right person, ask permission. Hey, would that be okay if I, give your reference, or if I take you in the thread, in the email thread, would that be okay? If he gives you permission, utilize it, right? 110%. I'll give you a story. I was trying to reach out to a CIO, right, of $1 billion company
Mm.
from last 1 month. And for some reason, like he was not responding to me, not on emails, not on calls.
Mhm.
But I was able to get a meeting of VP of uh, like engineering of that particular company.
Mm.
And he told me he's the guy who's looking for new AI initiatives. You
Mm.
can ask.
Mm.
And after that call, I LinkedIn, like emailed him, like, hey, I just spoke to this, this guy, VP of engineering, and this is the kind of discussion we had. And he told me that you are looking for some AI initiatives, and I would love to connect. And you won't believe within next 24 hours, he replied me back. He replied. So, so why did he reply? So that's a question, right? The question is because there was a reference within that inbox, right?
Reference and the right point of the discussion
Information was there, right?
that we have now.
So that was there.
Mm.
So that kind of approach, what makes you special, or separated from the other SDRs.
And that happens when we are saying to the new upcoming SDRs who join us in our team or who are the
Right.
new, that please do proper research and figure it out that what are the pain points maybe or the challenges they are facing, and use those challenges in somewhere in your email or in your messaging very wisely.
Right.
Start your discussion so they get interested. Oh, they understand my point, like my condition right now, so let's discuss. Maybe they have the good solution out of it. Let's say, for an example, I'm taking a very simple example of for a small product so that the our audience can relate to us. Let's say if you are discussing with any of the e-commerce owners, okay, and you are trying to pitch them to improve their UI UX of the website itself, that they can upgrade their technology behind that. So in that scenario, you have to first figure it out that what tech stacks that they are using. Maybe they are using the Shopify because most of the e-commerce companies are using the Shopify to build their website, right? So
Right.
if they are using the Shopify, then you can come to know that if this is the Shopify website, so maybe they are using the different plugins to manage their different tasks. And for those plugins, actually, they are paying a lots of the money. So if you go with the custom solution, you can build the same kind of the sort of the solution in one time cost, they may be agree. And the best part is that they don't have to go with the recurring billing or something, and the data is more safe and secure on their server now instead of the Shopify ones, right? So this is how we can start our discussions.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I totally agree with you as well, Saf, and really the good insights that we are discussing it right now. Let's talk about the outreach strategy And we have also the team sometimes in our company, in our organization, that are doing the paid marketings as well to generate some leads, right? Obviously, if someone going to ask me that which one is more good, I will say that if you get like if your paid marketing strategy is good and you are getting the very hot leads from out of it, you have to go ahead with it. But we know in the tax industry, generating the leads from the paid advertisement is quite high costly, right? We have to spend a lots of the money because the competition is too high over there as well.
Right.
And that's why you know that in the big, even in the big IT companies, they have a loss of the people as in the sales engineers, say SDRs, BDRs, and all, because they are doing the cold marketing, the outreach, they are following the outreach strategy as well. What is your take of about the outreach marketing and the hot marketing, like the paid marketing? If you are going to be the owner of a tech company in future or right now, how you will build your marketing strategy? You will go with the outreach one, or you will start with the paid marketing, or you will use the combo of them?
I think that completely depends how much money I have in my pocket.
Definitely, yes, obviously that's what I mentioned earlier. But let's make it more clear. Like let's say you have the budget for the paid marketing as well for the next 3 months or the 6 months. So
So, I mean, I do not have a very concrete answer to that, but what I have seen in my last to last company, I was closely working with the marketing team. So
hmm,
that was the kind of new services companies, not new, but 4 to 5 years old company, right? And they do not have a very good presence on internet, right? Because they were running a lot of campaigns. The team was working very hard, so they gave me few leads. The leads were good, but for some reason, that that prospect, to whom we reached out, from the marketing, they didn't have the budget, the kind of quotation we have given it to them. Meeting with, well, everything was good, but closure was not there.
hmm,
So here comes during the outbound when you follow a band strategy,
yeah.
right? Where you figure out the budget, like if everything goes well, iske paas budget hoga ki nahi. Like you go for the authority, because when whoever, the lead kind of coming from the marketing, it could be a authoritative person or not. We do not know, but we are burning the money, right? So again, like, depends. And in need, like, in band, like, on call, we are figuring out during the conversation if that particular prospect does really have a need or not, right? Or it's going to be a bogus lead,
Hmm,
right? And then again, timeline, if everything goes well, how frequent he could like implement the solution. So combination of both is, it would be great. I think it would be really great. Combination of both, marketing plus sales. That's a very powerful strategy. But how intelligently you are utilizing it, that's up to that leader, right? And again, the strategy is like for the outbound, you should have the right data. Data in the means, again, the ICPs. I'm coming back again to the topic which we already discussed, like the ICPs. Like आपको अगर अपना सॉल्यूशन बेचना है, बट यू आर रीचिंग आउट टू द अदर प्रोस्पेक्ट जिनको वो सॉल्यूशन चाहिए ही नहीं, नो मैटर, आई मीन हाउ मच यू आर पुटिंग एफर्ट्स, द रिजल्ट्स आर नॉट गोना बी देयर, राइट? So your ICPs should be very focused. आपको पता होना चाहिए to whom you are selling. You should have a good knowledge about your product, what your product is doing, what kind of problem it can solve, what are the challenges in the market, which other players are facing, right? So such kind of information you should have. Once you have the confidence. Once you have the confidence, you can speak up freely. And once you speak up freely, that's the quality I'm talking about. That's where prospect gets attracted. That's where you get meetings,
hmm,
right? And and one thing to my audience, I would say कि consistency is very important in this game,
hmm,
right? अगर अगर आप एक prospect को, आपके पास एक list है, and अगर someone is giving you 200 accounts और आपको बोला है कि उस पे कि इसी पे सारा साल काम करना है,
hmm,
राइट? अब आप बोलोगे 200 अकाउंट्स पे सारा साल कैसे काम हो सकता है, ये तो 1 महीने में 2 महीने में खत्म कर दूंगा,
hmm,
राइट? ये that's not fair. But no, actually, like, if you'll see, if you're strategic, if you know how to utilize those 200 accounts, you can get a a very good result. My Once my mentor taught me कि जो मूर्तिकार होता है ना, जो मूर्ति को आकार देता है, पत्थर पत्थर को छीन के जब छेनी से वो बार बार उसको हथौड़ा मारता है, तो एवरी स्ट्रोक डजंट वर्क। पहला स्ट्रोक मारेगा शेप नहीं आएगा, दूसरा मारेगा शेप नहीं आएगा, तीसरा मारेगा शेप नहीं आएगा, बट चौथा मारेगा तब पत्थर टूट जाएगा और शेप आ जाएगा।
हम्म
व्हाट ही वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट वाज अ कंसिस्टेंसी, राइट? कि पहले कॉल से तेरे को रिजल्ट नहीं आएगा, दूसरे से चल उठा लिया शायद मीटिंग नहीं देगा, तीसरे से बात होगी नहीं देगा, लेकिन जब चौथा करेगा सो he'll give you a मीटिंग।
हम्म
सो हमें वो बनना है, लाइक कंसिस्टेंसी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, राइट? वी नीड टू मेक श्योर लाइक हाउ कंसिस्टेंट वी आर, लाइक एंड व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एफर्ट्स वी आर पुटिंग, राइट? And everything, because a buyer, when someone is going to buy, you need to understand, like, because they are getting a lot of calls,
हम्म
multiple calls,
हम्म
but आप अगर एक healthy way में उसको approach कर रहे हो, and if they remembered your name, your company name, and in every call he's picking up but not giving a meeting, but you are able to build a good relation, you'll get a meeting. मेरे साथ आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ एसडीआर्स माइट कोरिलेट, जो थोड़े पुराने हैं। दिसंबर में आई मेड अ लॉट ऑफ कॉल्स। लोग कहते हैं दिसंबर में काम नहीं होता, आई से दिसंबर में ही असली काम होता है। हाउ? दिसंबर में एवरी वन इज इन हॉलीडे, right? I call everyone, wish them, hey, what's your plan for Christmas? Where are you going? What's the plan for your holidays during the Jan time, right? Hey, I really want to schedule a meeting, but I know this is not the right time. So, but I want to wish you a happy new year in advance. बस मैं इतना बोलता हूँ और उनको बोलता हूँ, एंड दे टेल मी, हे, रीच आउट टू मी सेकेंड वीक ऑफ दिसंबर, जनवरी, रीच आउट टू मी थर्ड वीक ऑफ जनवरी, और मैं तब उनको कॉल करता हूँ। और मैं ऐसे प्रोस्पेक्ट्स को भी कॉल करता हूँ जिनसे कभी बात भी नहीं हुई थी, एंड आई टेल देम, हे, वी स्पोक ड्यूरिंग द दिसंबर टाइम, डू यू रिकॉल बाय एनी चांस?
हम्म
Some says yes, some says no, and I then tell them, hey, you told me to call this time and told me to schedule a meeting regarding this topic. This is something, we are on the same page. He said yes, I think. Then we get a meeting, because that prospect feels like, yeah, इसको मैंने time बोला था, दिया था, and I got a lot of meetings during December and January and February. So Feb और Jan में you get a lot of meetings, but you need to make that pipeline in December. December में meetings कम आएंगी, but
हम्म
pipeline अच्छा बनता है।
Okay, so we already discussed a very good points now, and I just want to discuss few things about the tools that we SDR are regularly using, like Apollo, Zoom Info, LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, and all, right? So you know that in these days there are lots of the prospecting tools are available from where you can scrap the data, like the Zoom Info, Apollo, Lusa, and others as well. There are lots of the tools, right? Which one is your favorite one, if I ask you?
To be honest, I love Zoom Info,
Mm.
uh, because there are a lot of features, which you can look at through Zoom Info,
Mm.
and the quality of data is very good, and the database they do have, it's one of the best among all the competitors.
Yes, obviously they have it. Yeah. But when you're saying that there are lots of the good features, what are those features that you are referring actually?
Okay, so I really never got a chance to compare each and every tool,
Mm.
but the Chrome extension works very well. Like, I mean, that same goes with every tool. Like, either we name Lucia or Apollo, like it's the same thing. But yes, they do have a good kind of research, because within a backend of Zoom Info, what they does, if any number is inactive for more than 3 to 6 months,
Mm.
uh, the team of Zoom Info, they work on it and they replace the number, try to figure out a new number. So they keep changing and update their database. I'm not sure if other companies are doing it or not.
They are
And
not actually Zoom Info is only the they have the scoop team actually behind this and they are doing it.
yep.
I am agree with that because
And the accuracy is good. Apart from that, the kind of database they provide, that is good. Scoop feature is there, intent feature is there. There are other marketing features are also there, like, which uh, like, if you go with a higher plan, you can look at, like, who is visiting your website, which page, how much time they have spent on that page, right? So that kind of information.
okay, when we are talking about the intent, we know that in the Zoom Info there is a feature, there is a buying intent or where you can filter it up, put the filtration like on the intent. But what I heard that that intent is not actually the intent. They have the functionalities there, but actually they are not giving that kind of like let's say if I put it a intent filtration over there, like let's say for the any particular tech stack. Okay, and we have a list now that who the companies who are doing some sort of research on this particular keywords, then we are trying to approach them, but we are not getting that kind of the results like they are positioning there this feature like that. But what is your take on this?
Yeah, I somewhere I'll get agree on that point, because what we're looking at really doesn't mean that that kind of intent is there.
Yes.
It could be a triggered research from the side of prospect, or it could be anything. We really do not know.
Hmm.
But what we know is that company is somewhere and someone is doing that research. Now, who that someone is, that's where we have to look into. That we have to make a list, understand, like if AI, suppose the intent is for AI, that if the intent is for UI UX, then what we know is like UI UX पे अब we have to target, like we have to reach out to all the prospects and everything. AI department पे अब target करना, but अब AI में भी a lot of features are there. What exactly, like it could be AI of anything,
Hmm.
right? So वहां पे we have a vague image, we really do not know. And there comes work जहाँ पे एक SDR को अपने efforts डालने हैं. And here you have to reach out to each and every prospect, understanding what they are looking into, and like if there is a possibility where we can schedule a meeting, because the real sales cycle starts when once you schedule a call and the conversation begins. Then you understand what they are doing, what they already have, what they are looking for. So that's how I would say. But yes, we cannot rely on intent 100%. We have to put our efforts.
Okay, one more question. Like I'm just going on to the LinkedIn now. Okay, and before that, I must say that we have only few minutes now to discuss. So I'm just going to wrap few questions with you. So I believe that you do not have any problem, right?
Sure, sure.
Okay, so let's talk about the LinkedIn in a way. Like we all know that all the sales team, the favorite tool is the LinkedIn, like for doing the research, prospecting, and messaging on all for especially in the B2B segments, right? So when we are doing the research onto it, we approach them, we send them the connection request message to a particular prospect, and they accept it, let's say. Okay,
Hmm.
first of all, I would like to ask you that what kind of um the connection request message look like from your side? Like what you exactly put in there? Are you using that or not? Like,
So what I do is I really do not send any message when while I'm sending the request. First I'll make my, with the help of all the filters,
hmm.
I send the request to them first, right? Once
Thank
I
you.
uh like either on LinkedIn Sales Navigator or on my LinkedIn personal LinkedIn, I send to everyone first all the invitations, connection request, and then I keep a track, like who is accepting and who is not accepting. Like the one who is accepting, now I know I can send the messages. I do not have to rely on email.
Hmm.
I can send them messages, right? So this, because every month you are getting only 50 credits of emails,
Hmm.
and you have a prospect list of 100.
Hmm.
What about the rest of the 50? So what I can do is I can send requests to 100 those prospects within 2 weeks,
Hmm.
and out of 70, suppose they did not accept my request and 30 accepted.
Hmm.
So for those 30, I can use my LinkedIn messages. And for out of 70, I can use 50 email credits to those 70 out of list. और जो 20 बच गया वो मेरे को next month दोबारा मिल जाएगा, right? So now this is how you utilize your LinkedIn email credits, because most of the SDR complaints, sir prospect list तो इतना बड़ा है लेकिन credits 50 ही हैं, तो खत्म हो गया, अब कैसे reach out करेंगे? So this is a trick you can use.
Let's say that a prospect accepted your connection request message, first of all, okay, and now you have to send your further messages,
Hmm.
right? So how your sequence look like what exactly your first message then after the accepting the connection request?
Again tricky, because this is something I've been working on a very long time. And I have implemented a lot of strategies. I tell you, pehle I used to say like if considering their domain, hey, I really like a domain, like I'm a great believer, like this technology can do something, but I mean something like that. So वो कनेक्शन एक्सेप्ट करते थे, उसमें से लाइक 100 लोगों को भेजा तो 20 लोग बोलते थे दैट हे शेख आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू कनेक्ट, उनका रिप्लाई भी आता था लाइक सीईओ लेवल, सीआईओ लेवल, वीपीज, आई एम वेरी हैप्पी बट assuming you are looking at your profile, I hope you will not pitch me anything, right? So वो मेरे को पता लग जाता था फिर, then I used to no like it's only for the learning purpose, I just want to connect with you, that's all, right? So here the trick is considering once that prospect accepts, because he's also very experienced, he has seen a lot of things,
Yes, yes,
he
absolutely.
would really appreciate आप उसका टाइम वेस्ट ना करके पहले ही पिच पे जो आप बेचना चाहते हो उसको बोल दो, if he's interested he'll let you know, if not then no,
Hmm.
right? Because they respect the transparency,
Hmm.
right? And the second thing, if you really want to build up a connection, then at least you have to build a connection for next 15-20 days. You cannot pitch in middle of that, right? आप अपनी पाइपलाइन पहले से ही क्रिएट कर लो, आप उनके पोस्ट पे रेगुलर एंगेज करो, बात करो, हे लव दिस, हे ऑसम, हे आई रियली लाइक दैट कंटेंट, हे हाउ यू डू इट,
Should be
कर
inspired.
करके जब 1 महीना हो जाएगा ना, तब आप 1-1.5 महीने के बाद यू पिच इट. But most of the reps, what they do, hey, this is what I loved. जैसे उसका reply आया, thanks. Hey, I am from this company. I would like to schedule a meeting. Would you like to give me 15 or 20 minutes? That's you're spoiling the lead.
कई कई एसडीआरस को मैंने देखा है, वो तो पूरी लंबी सी लिस्ट, एक जो जितनी भी सर्विसेज है उनके पास है, वो सारी भेज देते कि इसमें से कोई भी, इफ यू आर इंटरेस्टेड इन एनी वन ऑफ द सर्विसेज प्लीज लेट
No,
मी।
that's where they ignore you. If you want to build a relation, like suppose आपके पास कोई आ रहा है, वो दोस्ती करना चाहता है,
हम्म।
आपने दोस्ती के लिए हाथ बढ़ाया, नेक्स्ट टाइम ही इज सेइंग हे ये खरीद ले, हाउ वुड यू फील? You will feel bad, right?
यस।
uh, but yes, but at the same time, अगर आप पहले ही इन मेल में ट्रांसपेरेंसी रख रहे हो, हे थैंक यू फॉर एक्सेप्टिंग द रिक्वेस्ट, आई नो यू आर अ वेरी बिजी पर्सन एंड यू आर वर्किंग एज सीआईओ, I work for this company and I'm working as a BDM or sales representative or SDR. I want to let you know, like, if you're looking for the solution,
हम्म।
yes or no, like
हम्म।
I would appreciate. And most of the cases they reply, they look at it, right? They love transparency.
हम्म।
Like if you'll feel like I'm the clever one, they are not, then no, that's not the case.
Yes, and even if they are not replying you on this kind of the message that you just mentioned about where you are going ahead with the transparency and you offer them the solution, and if they didn't reply you at the time and that particular time, it doesn't mean that they are ignoring you. Maybe they don't have these priorities right now in their head. Like
Absolutely.
they have something else going in their mind, and maybe they are busy in some other stuffs, and they just don't want to engage with you right now. So they are not going to reply you. Further, it doesn't mean that they are not interested at all. Lots of the people leave them there after that. Like they are not coming back to them even after the 1 or 2 months. But
Correct.
what we have to do, even they didn't reply you, at least you have the chance to come back to them bit after some research, of course, or even if you're not doing any research at all, after a few months, like after 1 or 2 months, after 30 days, 45 days, you can come back to them. Hey, I didn't get a response from your side, and it's still, I am thinking that maybe we are in the same industry, or we are also offering the similar kind of the solutions. If you have any chance, saying we can be a good fit, let's connect and discuss more in detail. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, so maybe if they have the requirement, they will come back to you. They will say, Tarun, I am not interested in it right now, or maybe they will say, okay, Tarun, let's get in touch with you in the next month. Sometimes you will get this kind of the reply. So
Correct.
every no is not exactly the no. You have to
Yes.
learn this strategy.
It's like it's been postponed. You can reach out to that
Yes,
prospect three
yes,
months,
exactly.
4 months.
Yeah, yeah. And most of the people leave them up. They are not interested. They are not. He's not replying. Actually.
I tell you one story, like, there is a prospect, like, VP of something, like it's been 3 years back. I called her, she was driving, right? I told her, hey, this is Sheikh, I'm calling from this and this company. And I gave her my pitch and I told her, hey, I would like to set up a meeting. She just bluntly said, no, I don't want to give you a meeting. She hung up. After 20 and 25 days, I called her again. I told her, now I this time I didn't say I am Sheikh, because there is a possibility she might have that idea. I told, hey, this is someone else. Like I changed my name. hey, how are you doing? Like it's now more like a friendly approach because she didn't know me who I am. I didn't disclose my company name. Hey, how are you? How are weekends going on? I hope everything is good and fine, right? And she was like, yeah, good, good. I'm good, thank you. Like, who are you again? Right, then again I told her, hey, this is me, like I'm from this and this company. I spoke with you earlier, like does it ring any bell? By I spoke to you a couple of months back. So she said no, no bells. So then I pitched, and she told me, let's schedule a meeting. So
Hmm.
a no is actually a no. A no means अब आप कुछ चेंज करो अपनी पिच पे, अब आप कुछ तिगड़म लगाओ
Hmm.
और उसको दोबारा रीच आउट करो, बट रीच आउट करने के लिए एक गैप ऐसा रखो कि वो आपको पहचान ना पाए.
पहचानना पाए, and even if it is not about that they are not going to recognize it is more about that if you are going to recognize by them. Absolutely, if I asked you any chance in any case कि हमारी कभी पहले बात हुई और मैंने आपको ब्लंटली नो बोला है कि नहीं यार मुझे नहीं चाहिए तुम्हारी सर्विसेज, तो ऑब्वियसली आप जो दोबारा अप्रोच करोगे, इवन आई नीड दैट, आई एम गोइंग टू से यू नो, बिकॉज मेरे भी तो अपनी ईगोज है ना भाई, मैंने तुम्हें पहले नो बोला है, हाउ आई कैन से यस नाउ वेरी सून. सो इन दैट केस अगर आपका अप्रोच डिफरेंट हो जाता है, आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी थोड़ी सी डिफरेंट हो जाती है, आपने मुझे इस तरीके से बताया जैसे अभी यू जस्ट मेंशन कि दैट आई फर्स्ट engage her as a personalized one, like hey
हम्म.
hi, how are you doing today, and even you can reference to that, telling me how was your traveling, even you didn't tell them that you are the same person still, but you mentioned that, so she come to know, oh he's someone who knows me, let's talk to him. So they will start engaging with you on the call, and then you can say directly okay, I am offering the services, you whether you are interested or can we say set up a meeting or something like that, they will go back with that, right? So this happens sometimes, okay? So that's what I also tell the people, that every no is not no, actually you have to figure it out that how you convert that no into the yes, because ऐसे तो यार 100 prospect की लिस्ट है, उसमें से 75 पे आपको नो ही मिलने वाला है.
हाँ, राइट.
25 भी होते हैं जो बोलते हैं कि ठीक है चलो कुछ करते हैं, तो वो आपकी 75 एक्चुअली ऐसा नहीं कि वो डेड एंड्स है. यू हैव टू अगेन कम बैक विद द न्यू स्ट्रेटजी, विद द न्यू ट्रिक्स एंड टेक्नोलॉजी. लेट्स से okay, one more thing now, what happens sometimes, like we are calling few prospects in the same way like we just discussed that, and most of the time people complains the new SDRs, upcoming SDRs, I not need to say the upcoming SDRs, the SDRs who are the junior SDRs, like, actually they come and say, yeah, I got a lots of the voicemails, okay,
हम्म.
most of the time, and they are very frustrated dialing the 100 to 200 numbers and getting like out of the 200 they are get on 150 calls, they are getting the voicemails only, right? So I know that you already answered this, whosoever wants to pick from there they knows the answers, but still if someone come to you with this question, what is going to be your answer in this case?
Okay. First of all, would like to tell you the ratio, the picking ratio, is very less. If you're making 100 calls and if you're even getting, 4 or 5 connects on that day after making 100 calls, then I would say that's a good connect. आपका ratio अच्छा है.
Hmm.
Because usually services की बात कर रहा हूँ, not SaaS. SaaS में थोड़ा ratio अलग है.
Hmm.
uh, Services may usually you end up making 150 calls, and sometimes it happens, most of the time it happens that no one is picking up the call, like you left with 0 connects or 1 connect, and that even is wrong number or unsolicited बोल के वो काट देगा, right?
Hmm.
So again I would say, like, if something similar is happening to you, try different patterns. आप अलग अलग, like अब आपके पास suppose 100 की list है,
Hmm.
right? Segregate into that 50 and 50. अब आपको पता है इस 50 को फर्स्ट हाफ पे कॉल करना है इन अ
Hmm.
स्लॉट ऑफ देयर टाइम 8:30 to 10:30 के बीच में, देयर टाइम,
Hmm.
प्रोस्पेक्ट के टाइम पे.
Hmm.
और नीचे 50 नंबर है जिनको मुझे कॉल करना है 3:30 से 5:30 के बीच में.
Hmm.
दैट्स देयर लेट इवनिंग, राइट? आपने उनको किया, किसी ने कॉल नहीं उठाया, इट्स ओके. नेक्स्ट डे आप इसको वाइस वर्सा कर दो.
Okay.
जिनको पिछले दिन सुबह किया उनको अब शाम को करो, जिनको शाम को किया उनको सुबह करो. See if that pattern is working or not. Now let's say that pattern is again not working,
Hmm.
right? तो आप एक दूसरा पैटर्न बनाओ अब, राइट? अब पैटर्न में आप क्या करो, अब उसमें आप 10:30 to 12:30 का एक स्लॉट लो, ठीक है, और उसमें एक 2:30 to 4:30 का एक स्लॉट लो. ठीक है, नाउ ट्राई इन दैट पैटर्न, अब देखो कितने लोग उठा रहे हैं, कितने लोग नहीं उठा रहे हैं,
राइट।
राइट। उसमें भी फिर आप वाइस वर्सा एक्सपेरिमेंट करो, राइट। मेक श्योर कि आप विद इन 5 और 6 डेज आप 2-4 पैटर्न के साथ एक्सपेरिमेंट्स कर चुके हो, सो दैट यू नो यार कौन उठा रहा है कौन नहीं उठा रहा। After that, again, you feel like no one is picking up the call. There is one strategy, but I wouldn't say really a strategy, but kinda I usually avoid, and I even tell the audience to avoid it, कि अगर बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कोई प्रोस्पेक्ट है जो आपको लगता है यार इसको तो फोन उठाना ही पड़ेगा, कॉल हिम ट्वाइस, एक साथ 2 बार, वो फिर फोन उठाता है, क्योंकि ट्वाइस का मतलब जैसे दूसरी बार है, इट मीन्स इंपॉर्टेंट कॉल नॉट अ कोल्ड कॉल, तो वो फोन उठाता है। बट यू शुड हैव अ गुड ओपनिंग सो दैट बिकॉज ही आस्किंग, हे आई डिडंट पिक योर कॉल ऑन द फर्स्ट टाइम, व्हाई आर यू कॉलिंग मी, पिकिंग, व्हाई आर यू कॉलिंग मी अगेन, द सेकंड टाइम, देन टेल मी, हे आई एम सो सॉरी, दिस वाज kind of important, I've been trying to reach out from last 3 or 4 days, but I know you're very busy. Would that be okay, if I just take 30 seconds to let you know why I'm calling, right? So then tell him why you're calling, right? So 2 बार आप कॉल करोगे तब वो जरूर उठाता है, right? और ऐसा भी होता है sometimes it's, few might agree, few might not agree, this is a very debatable topic. Few eastern companies जो eastern side है, they prefer to uh, mostly pick eastern numbers, right? और जो पैसिफिक में है वो पैसिफिक नंबर्स को थोड़ा ज़्यादा एंटरटेन करते हैं, पैसिफिक कोड्स को, राइट। जो माउंटेन टाइम में वो माउंटेन में थोड़ा करते हैं, बट दिस इज नॉट अ हार्ड कोर रूल, बिकॉज आई वर्कड ऑन विद अ सिंगल नंबर, जो चारों मैंने जियोग्राफीज में काम किए, ईस्ट वेस्ट साउथ और माउंटेन, माउंटेन और अपना सेंट्रल, चारों में किया है एंड इट वर्क्स। बट आई फील लाइक कि अगर आपके पास 4 एक्सटेंशंस हैं, 4 नंबर्स हैं चारों ज्योग्राफी के, दैट गिव यू अ मोर काइंड ऑफ लेवरेज, एड ऑन, राइट। तो अगर आपकी कंपनी वैसा कुछ स्ट्रेटेजिक आपको अप्रोच करने के लिए हेल्प करती है तो इट्स हेल्प, बिकॉज यूजुअली मैंने साइकोलॉजी मैंने भी सोचा, अगर इफ आई एम गेटिंग अ नंबर जो मेरे ट्रू कॉलर पे लिखा आ रहा है इट्स फ्रॉम केरला, नाउ आई डू नॉट नो एनीवन फ्रॉम केरला, व्हाट दिस कॉल इज अबाउट, राइट। मन हुआ तो उठा लूंगा, नहीं तो नहीं उठाऊंगा। नाउ नाउ मेरे ट्रू कॉलर पे आ रहा है दिस इज फ्रॉम दिल्ली। अब पता है मेरे को कि मैं इस नंबर को नहीं जानता, बट इट कुड बी एनीथिंग, बट कोई दोस्त हो सकता है, कोई दूसरे नंबर से कर रहा है, कोई रिलेटिव हो सकता है, कोई क्या पता किस, मतलब व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज अ लोकल नंबर हेल्प्स। बट यस अगेन, this is a very debatable topic, this is not a hard and fast rule. I wouldn't say like ऐसा होना ही चाहिए, because I myself has done scheduled meetings with a single number as well, और वो चारों geographical, but yes again यहाँ पे आप क्या पैटर्न अप्लाई करते हो, दैट्स अगेन गुड। एंड या थोड़ा जो रेशियो है जो मैंने बताया वो जियोग्राफी टू जियोग्राफी थोड़ा चेंज भी होता है, फॉर यूके एंड यूरोप इट्स डिफरेंट। अगर आप 100 कॉल्स करोगे तो कनेक्टिविटी इज बेटर, आप एशिया पैसिफिक में करोगे तो कनेक्टिविटी इज बेटर, लाइक उससे भी अच्छा होगा, आपको मिलेगा। तो इट्स जियोग्राफी टू जियोग्राफी, अगेन योर रेशियो, योर स्ट्रैटेजीज एंड योर challenges will change.
Got your point. It is approachable, but yes, of course, we know that every company is not going to have the resources like with
Right,
the
absolutely.
so definitely. But yes, this is one of the thing that people thinks like your the idea about the calling 2 times simultaneously. It's a one of the good idea because we also do say the same thing. If someone is calling from a unknown number, I'm not going to pick it very first. But if he is calling back to me at the same time again, I must think that he knows me and I'm going to pick that call, right?
Right.
I must say that we already have 3:15 right now and spend almost 1 hour on this podcast. But I have few more questions. If you don't mind, I would like to go
Sure.
with.
Sure.
Okay, it's now about the objections. This
Hmm.
is one of the hot topic, like because every SDR wants to handle the objection very professionally, very properly. The reason behind that, if you handle the objection,
Hmm.
then there is a lots of the chances that you will get the meetings, you are able to sell your product or the services
Hmm.
very well, right? So if I ask you that what is the common objection that you hear on your day-to-day activity a lot, first of all, please tell us that objection, one of the biggest objection that we hear normally in every day. So what is that actually from your side?
Sure. So, I mean, it's been very common. It's nothing like very different. I mean, it's The objection are, hey, I do not entertain unsolicited calls.
Okay.
Second is, hey, we are all covered. Thank you. Hung up.
Mm.
Third, send me an email. Hung up.
This is the one of the objection. Okay. Send me an email. I will look into it. I will get back to you.
Yeah, right. Then hung up. Fourth, from where did you get my number? Right. Do not call me again. Hung up.
Mm.
Right. And again, there are other similar kind of objections out there. And again, and hey, no, I'm not interested. Uh,
Mm.
this is not something I'm looking for. I'm not interested. Hung up. So now coming to these are the objections, but now coming to the solution, like, what you as an SDR you can do.
Mm.
So, uh, I mean, in my tenure of 5 years, I have seen what's the difference between the top performers, the good SDRs, and between the average SDRs. So the good SDRs, they handle rejections very professionally and in a very good way. Like, doesn't feel like, it's a rejection. Like, suppose what 70% or 80% of the SDR does while someone is saying, hey, send me an email. Right, I'll look into it and I'll get back to you. So 70 or 80% of the SDRs will say, hey, sure, I'll send you the email. Bye. And hung up. फोन रख दिया और उसने email भेज भी दिया but reply नहीं आता है. But what good SDRs does?
Mm.
Hey, you want to send me an email? First, they pitch for the call. Hey, I would love to send you an email, but you might come up with questions, and again, I really value your time, and that we might need to include subject matter expert in that email thread, and you will end up getting the answers after 2 or 3 days. Why don't you just spare 15 minutes, and I'll call the subject matter expert, and on that same call within 15 minutes, we can resolve all your queries if that something sounds good to you.
Yeah.
So पहले वो call के लिए pitch करेगा. So again, feels like if that particular prospect say nahi nahi, send me an email. So then good SDRs, what they does is, okay, I'll be happy to send you an email, but considering your designation, would you mind telling me what exactly you are looking for an email? If there is something in your mind you are looking to explore, so that because we within that domain do and does a lot of things. So
Mm.
what exactly you're looking at? सो उसको 2 या 3 मिनट में ऐसा इन्वॉल्व करूंगा कि अगर मैं ईमेल भेज रहा हूँ तो वो उसको देखे जरूर, एंड आई हैव द कंटेंट नाउ, क्या दिस इज व्हाट ही इज लुकिंग फॉर, एंड नेक्स्ट टाइम व्हेन ही रीचेस आउट, आई रीच आउट, तो आई नो व्हाट आई सपोज टू
Tell.
राइट. So this is one what good SDR does. And on a second rebuttal, what I have seen is someone is saying, hey, I'm not interested, thank you. तो वहां पे कॉन्फिडेंस या मनोबल बहुत सारे एसडीआर्स का तो वहीं पे खत्म हो जाता है. 70 और 80% एसडीआर्स तो वहीं पे ओके, बाय, टेक
Bye.
केयर. ठीक है. बट गुड एसडीआर्स क्या करते हैं? हे, थोड़ा दे डू हैव थोड़ा साहस के साथ है, थोड़ी हिम्मत के साथ, कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ दे टेल, हे, I understand you might not be interested, but may I ask, like, what's the reason for that? If you are all covered for now, if you are under contract, or if you're not looking for such solutions, what's the reason? Like, if you're not interested, because अगर वो interested नहीं है, there are n number of reasons.
Yes.
अब
Yes.
तो सही, क्या पता वेंडर के साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में हो, वेंडर
Contract.
का कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अगले साल खत्म होगा, तो अगले साल आपके लिए अपॉर्चुनिटी तो बन जाएगी. Ask why is not interested, right? Why is not interested? तो जो good SDRs होते हैं वो ये पूछते हैं,
Mm.
right? So that's these small things helps, एक बाउंड्री क्रिएट करता है between a good SDR and average SDR. दो ये दोनों काम सेम करते हैं, but good SDR never take rejection as a rejection. It's more like an opportunity, because once he have answers to these questions, he knows यार मेरा pipeline है ये 6 महीने बाद,
Mm.
ये 6 या 7 महीने के बाद मेरा पाइपलाइन है. अभी इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है क्योंकि अभी इसने ये वाला इम्प्लीमेंट किया है सॉफ्टवेयर. ठीक है. अभी ये इंटरेस्टेड नहीं है क्योंकि अभी अभी इनका बजट नहीं है. ठीक है. इट कुड बी अ बजट इशू, इट कुड बी अ हायरार्की इशू, इट कुड बी any number of reasons could be there, but you need to figure out what reason is that. You just cannot hang up. So that's a difference and a boundary between a good SDR and a bad SDR, and that's how you handle rejections and objections.
Great insight. Actually, this is something that is very relatable to everyone now in these days, because I also see this the same thing, that when someone listen the no, they, like the expectation that they had already from their prospect, it's not coming in that way, and they are getting down like, oh, okay, thank you. The pitch and the flow of the voice is also getting down, and in that case, like they even they, if they like hung up the same call in the same point of time, in that case they don't have the way to re-approach them until and unless you're not replying. Okay, thank you, I can understand that this is not your priority right now, but I just want to showcase that what exactly we can bring up on the table. If you have 5 minutes in the next week, anytime, we can just want to show you that, and you can decide whether you want to continue or not with us, right? Like that, if it's required.
Right.
So we can go ahead with this kind of the things. Okay. Apart from that, now we are just moving to the end of this podcast. I just want to ask you, Saf, your insights are very good, and the practical insight that you shared today on this podcast is going to help the lots of the SDRs and BDRs, obviously. Now one question from my side to my for my audience, that is like, if you have to give a one piece of the advice for the upcoming SDR or the SDRs who just want to build their career and get some good opportunity, and or get some hikes in their career, then what is that one advice that you would like to share from your side?
I mean, there are a lot of things which uh, really I would like to say, because success never have a one single parameter. It's
Mm,
always a combination of multiple parameters. But one thing in sales, what I have seen is, which made a lot of salespeople are great salespeople, like zeal. कि करना है यार.
mm,
That your mindset, if you're not even skilled, if you feel like, yeah, I'm not skilled, you will get skilled with the passage of time, not an issue. But जो आपका zeal है, like your mindset, कि मेरे को ये करना है, that मेरे को ये सेल लेके आनी है, मेरे को ये prospect चाहिए ही चाहिए, that zeal and that hunger drives you, and that's what makes you different than other personas, other career designations. I would say वो zeal अगर आपके अंदर है, तो then you are the real sales guy. वो hunger, क्योंकि when other guys look at you कि यार ये sales क्या, what's the first thought come in their mind, पता है ये पैसे बहुत बनाता है,
mm,
right? That's what other people says in the department, but वो sales वाले को पता होता है like what kind of challenges he has been facing, right? what kind of problem. But वो zeal अगर आपके अंदर है, वो attitude आपके अंदर है, वो mindset कि यार never give up वाला अगर attitude है, आप सेल्स में इजीली सरवाइव कर जाओगे. नॉट ए इशू आपको, हाँ, मैनेजर थोड़ा गुस्सा करेंगे, थोड़ा वर्क का प्रेशर रहेगा, ठीक है, मे बी few days will not be good, few days will be good, बट अगर आप उस एटीट्यूड के साथ अगर आप सेल्स और एसडीआर प्रोफेशन को स्टार्ट करोगे, यू विल सी आफ्टर 2 years आपने बहुत कुछ सीख लिया होगा, in
mm,
terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, in terms of all the strategies and everything, how things work, not work. So just never give up in sales. Like, giving up is not an option. Just never give up, and a zeal should be there. कि करना है, mindset is there. So that's what the first thing I would say, कि आपको ये skill आपके अंदर जरूर होना चाहिए. That zeal should be there. After that, I think everything वो हो जाता है, वो कर लेते हैं सभी.
mm.
As I heard, 90% जो लोग होते हैं, they are वो सेल्स में एक्सीडेंटली आते हैं. It's not like they're a hardcore profession जहाँ उन्होंने सोचा होता है कि
हाँ,
सेल्स.
उन्होंने सोचा होगा सेल्स के अंदर मोस्टली ऐसा आपको सुनने को मिलेगा कि इट्स नॉट अ प्रोफेशन दैट पीपल चूज बाय देयर
By
चॉइस।
choice, right? So it's by accident. कोई बीपीओ में वांट अ गुड करियर, वो सेल्स में आ गया, ठीक है. कोई ऑपरेशंस में, ठीक है, वो उसको अच्छा पैसा चाहिए, वो सेल्स में आ गया. कोई दूसरी रियल स्टेट सेल्स में बहुत टॉक्सिक है, वो सैस सेल्स में आ गया. कोई एडटेक में है, उसको सैस में घुसना है, वो सेल्स में आ गया, एसडीआर बन गया, राइट? सो दिस इज हाउ थिंग्स आर वर्किंग, राइट? तो बट आई वुड से कि जील होना चाहिए, एंड विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम ऑब्जर्व. अगर आपको लगता है कि हाँ मैं पीछे हूँ, मैं अच्छा नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, आपकी कंपनी में जो भी एक अच्छा टॉप सेलर है, जो भी अच्छा एसडीआर है, ऑब्जर्व कि वो ऐसा क्या कर रहा है, राइट? जो भी टॉप 5 एसडीआर्स हैं, look at them. Please look at them what they are doing, because if one is able to drive sales, if one is able to bring sales, then others can do that too. It just वो एक जो बंदा कर रहा है वो कुछ अलग कर रहा है, and you need to learn that. It could be anything, right? Learn from your best peers. ठीक है, आप अपने बेस्ट सेलर्स हैं उनसे सीखो, उनको देखो हाउ दे आर डूइंग इट. एंड आई वुड से अपने मेंटोर के साथ अच्छा एक रिलेशन बनाओ हमेशा. अगर आपके मेंटोर आपके मैनेजर हैं, कोई सीनियर फोक हैं या कुछ है, वो बनाओ, दे विल हेल्प यू. So that's kind of suggestion I would like to give. These things helped me a lot in 5 years and 6 years, and I feel like that I have faced challenges, but in every company I have been praised for the work I am doing. So that's I feel like I really want to thank all my managers who taught me, all my peers and all my seniors जिन्होंने मेरे को सिखाया. So I am really thankful to each and every one of them. So I would say the same thing to our audience, get good colleagues and learn from the best.
Okay. See, one more thing. Do you like reading books, by the way?
What? Reading books? Uh, well, I do, but not a very kind of core reader, but yes, I do.
Any book that you would like to suggest to the audience who can read for to get some good insights out of it?
So I do not have any any like sales से
Hmm.
related कोई भी है, but I usually do not read books, but I read more of a blogs and articles,
Okay.
right? So I would let them know, अगर कोई SDR है, go through MEDDIC strategy.
Hmm.
ठीक है, मेडिक स्ट्रैटेजी को पढ़ें वो सेल्स में. मेडपिक को पढ़ें, जस्ट थोड़ा सा स्लाइटली डिफरेंस है. मेडपिक को पढ़ें, मेडिक को पढ़ें. स्पिन सेलिंग कैसे होती है उसको पढ़ें. बैंड सेलिंग कैसे होती है उसको पढ़ें. चैनल पार्टनरशिप सेलिंग कैसे होती है उसको पढ़ें. ठीक है, उसके बाद आई थिंक दैट्स ऑल. अगर वो ये सब चीज़ें पढ़ेंगे, दे विल हैव अंडरस्टैंडिंग. और चैट जीपीटी के साथ थोड़ा लाइक दे नीड टू प्ले, कि अपने रिबटल्स को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए वो रीड करें. आप चैट जीपीटी का ऑडियो ऑन करें और उनको बोले एक्ट एज अ प्रोस्पेक्ट एंड आई एम द वन हु इज पिचिंग यू नाउ, जस्ट प्ले अराउंड द टूल. वो लाइक ही विल बी योर मेंटर चैट जीपीटी, एंड इट विल हेल्प यू ग्रो. एंड प्रोफेशनली आप बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हैं, लाइक ऐसे आज एआई टूल्स के साथ. सो
Yeah.
not a reader from books. I mean, I love books though, but my profession is like very kind of busy. फ्री टाइम में भी सेल्स करनी होती है, माइंड में सेल्स चलती है फ्री टाइम में भी.
वो प्रोसेस
राइट.
के बारे में चलता रहता है कि उसको क्या करें,
राइट.
कैसे सोचे, कैसे क्रैक करें.
लाइक आफ्टर इवन आफ्टर दिस कॉल मैं भी लिंक्डइन खोल के बैठूंगा आधा घंटा 1 घंटा. I'll look at it, like look into few things, then I'll close my laptop. Right. So like एक बहुत अच्छे सेल्स लाइक हमारी पिछली कंपनी में लाइक ही गॉट द अवार्ड ऑफ अ बेस्ट सेल्स गाय. तो उन्होंने एक बात बोली थी, कहती द रियल सेलिंग इज व्हेन, जब आप ऑफिस से बाहर जाते हो और तब भी अगर आपके दिमाग में सेलिंग चल रही है ना, देन दैट्स द रियल सेलिंग.
That's the real saying.
अगर ऑफिस के बाहर आपके माइंड से सेलिंग नहीं है, अगर आपके माइंड में नहीं है कि प्रोस्पेक्ट्स कौन है नहीं है, तो यू कैन नॉट बी अ वेरी गुड सेलर. आई मीन, but yeah, if it's there, then you'll definitely you'll get that. You will be there.
Great. Thank you so much, Seth, for sharing all the insights and the practical insights, I must say. And that is going to help the audience a lot, I believe so. And apart from this, I also want to thanks to you to give you gave us the time for this podcast. And it's really lovely talking to you and discussing with you. And I love to be this kind of the insights for me as well. So thank you so much for your time.
uh,
And
Thank you, Tarun. I mean, it's you who is organizing such a beautiful session for the youngsters and for all the SDR community. I'm pretty sure, they'll love it, and they will gather a lot of insights from your initiative.
thank you so much. And I must say that audience is going to be also praise that. And audience, if you won't have any questions or you need some more insights, you can comment us on the same video, and we will try to reply you on that as well with the right guidance, with the right replies, and the answers with the insights, of course. So if anyone have any questions, please don't miss the opportunity and put your comments into the video itself. Thank you so much, guys. Have a nice day, Saf. Thank you.
Thank you, Tarun.